All right, Roy Thomas. This is our last one for the day. All right. Yeah, this is probably a good time to stop. I find a lot of what is happening in our country exceptionally concerning. I recently read Animal Farm and 1984 back-to-back. I find the means by which the pigs in Animal Farm eroded the rights of the other animals eerily similar to what is happening now. And I can't help but see the parallel between the function of the Ministry of Truth in 1984 and the current function of basically all forms of media. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. I've noticed subtle, and sometimes not so subtle, environmental messages in practically all of television. And that's why I don't watch television. I don't want it in my head. The tools currently used by the political left have all been used before, typically right before some very nasty shit takes place. I'm talking about censorship in this case, under the guise of stamping out mis- and disinformation, social ostracization, and the deprivation of livelihood, canceling someone. The orthodox approach to science, quote, scare quote, science, yes, absolutely, seen regarding man-made climate change, vaccination, and other issues. The erosion and condemnation of history and historical figures, and the obfuscation of objective truth. It is these last 2 points that specifically that I find to be perfectly in line with the Ministry of Truth function. You will say up is down and left is right, and for no other reason than having been told to do so. I don't know if I should be more concerned about the people that know it isn't true yet agree with it anyway, or the people who have actually incorporated this strange, nonsensical version of reality into their psyche so completely that rational conversation based on material fact is impossible with them. My question, are the above issues largely found on the left side of the aisle, as I seem to think, or is the right using some of these tactics as well? In your views of history, what happens next?
I don't get the this has been going on for at least 10 years, guys. It's just a little more obvious now.
Yeah, it's more obvious now.
This is not new.
The climate change thing has just been a real interesting test run that probably was the precursor to their approach during the COVID bullshit.
Climate change has been a long game.
That's been since what, the 70s?
When I was a kid, that was the thing.
Popular Science has articles about it back in like the late 70s.
We were led to believe that the world would not exist in 2000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
if we didn't change our entire
the
lives
oceans
today.
would boil and all this fucking bullshit. It's just
Popular Science in the 80s had articles about how the world would be frozen right now.
That's right, man.
It did. Yes, they couldn't get they couldn't agree on the story.
Yeah.
They finally agreed on the heat story.
Mm-hmm. And then all the politicians agreed with it and bought oceanfront property.
Right. Right. Yeah, exactly. And
they're still selling oceanfront and still insuring oceanfront.
And oddly enough, it hasn't taken everything over. The water's still where it's at.
Oddly enough, the system is rather stable.
Yeah.
Because it is a very large, exceptionally multivariate system, and you can't perturb one variable and have the other variables give a shit.
The thing that both sides do masterfully today in 2024 is make a political issue out of absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Everything has to be according to the talking points and the thinking. And the thinking is the scary part because nobody's allowed to have their own independent thought. Everybody has to fall in line with their particular team. And that's what's happened over the last 5 years or so, that everybody – and this isn't real life. This isn't what happens in real life because when you talk to normal people, everybody has opinions and everybody's far more central in terms of their own ideas and the way that they think. But by looking at social media and what's on TV and print media and news websites, you would be led to believe that we're on the verge of civil war with our fucking neighbors over these silly ass ideas that aren't really a factor, right?
Well, we may be on the verge of civil war, but it has been manufactured. It has been manufactured for us.
Yeah,
Right.
you constantly hear this thing that we're the most...
So many people are so bought into the media narrative because they allow themselves to be exposed to it every single day. And it's, I mean, if you keep NBC News on in your house at 6 o'clock and watch it every single day, you, my friend, are bought in.
Well, the media today is what's online, so only old people are watching TV all day.
Well,
that's the truth.
I'm being metaphorical when I say that.
The vast majority of people right now are getting their news from social media.
That's correct, and they're getting pissed off on social media.
Yes.
When they're not actually pissed off in real life at the people that they live with every day.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
well, I hope you're right about that. You know.
No, it's not good. I'm not saying it's.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying it's real fucked up.
Yeah.
Well, it is real
nothing's
fucked up,
real
but
anymore.
I see this coming from every direction. That it's as though all of the media, all of the types of media, the TV networks, the radio networks, the social media, internet news sites, all had a meeting one weekend and decided that this is what we're going to say. And there's a few places you can go and
Because they're all owned by the same people.
No, they did have a meeting, and what the meeting was about was how do we get as many eyes on our websites as possible.
right.
And the way to do that is by tapping into the things that piss people off the most.
Yep.
And it's things to the effect of there is an enemy, and that enemy is hidden, and that enemy may be your partner, your neighbor, and they're trying to fuck you up, and they're trying to fuck the whole world up, and that's where we're at today.
Yeah.
And some of that's true a little bit, but it's not true to the extent that they would have us believe. It's all about getting people to engage and getting people fucking fired up, and positive shit doesn't fire people up.
And here we are.
And some of it bleeds into real life. Like all of a sudden you got these like schools doing really stupid shit with kids.
Yeah.
Because somebody somewhere decided that this is a good idea. Like to let kids wear furry animal costumes to school.
This week on Starting Strength Radio, we have a rather wide-ranging discussion based upon your emailed into us questions. Some of the questions are awfully stupid. Some of them are okay. And we make the best of this less than satisfactory situation, as we do every week, right here on Starting Strength Radio.